Hello everybody, we are here with the timeless reading. Welcome. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing you going in the direction of something that you are genuinely interested in pursuing or feel that you might be. Like there's an intent here to follow upon what is speaking to you currently. Okay. Six of Swords. You're definitely moving to what would feel like a more fitting place for you, and this is going to put you at ease mentally in a way that you may not have been feeling before, but I'm getting that it's also going to take time. So if you're not feeling like completely better the next day, don't look at this and be like, oh, it wasn't the right choice. I'm seeing it's just going to take a little bit of time for you to adjust, so give it time. You're definitely moving in the right direction, so I feel like even though I'm sure there's going to be much more like validation and reassurance, I feel like that's a big thing here. Like you're going in the right direction. So just know that. It seems like this is also about following your heart too. Like, this is also right for you on an emotional level. Yeah, okay, listen. You know that you're sort of like leaving the shores right now. And so there's going to be a little bit of a transition, but I'm seeing this is going to happen very, very quickly. So right now you may be like, I feel like we just touched off of where we were before, and now I'm moving and I'm in that transition. It's like the water between these two islands. You kicked off of the last one, you're in that in between, but I'm seeing like for you to transition and touch land on like the next place that you're going to, metaphorically speaking, for some of you can be literally, you could be moving somewhere or traveling somewhere. Anyway, back to what I'm seeing here. You are going to be touching that next land like sooner than you even think. Like I'm seeing the actual transition happens very, very quickly. Like you're going to get there sooner than you may have anticipated. And it seems to like nothing is going to stop you at this point. I'm seeing nothing's going to interrupt this. You're definitely going to that other place, to where this is that you're moving towards. I get even something being very supercharged for you. And you could be feeling just the sort of like largeness of what it is that you're doing. It feels like stepping towards something that feels very big as you're moving towards the Death card. So this is feeling like this is changing your life in a big way from what it was before. I'm also seeing strength. I'm seeing strength and I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles. This is a really awesome thing to see because you made this choice because you felt like this would be better off for you, and it's not necessarily the easy choice to be making. But you're doing it anyway, which is really amazing to see because I'm seeing you be just like very brave with this choice that you're making here, which is beautiful. It's really like symbolic of the way that you're choosing to live your life, and in a space where you don't want to be compromising things that you'll later on feel resentful for. I'm seeing you really take matters into your own hands and be like, I'm not negotiating on this. I am striving towards like alignment with my values. And so you're like making a really big decision here. And it's very, very important. And it's kind of just like trusting in yourself and this thing that you're doing, and that like your guides are supporting you, and just like the energy of all of this, and you being like, I may feel a little bit unsure moving on from what I'm moving on from, but I know that this is the right call for me, because I'm not seeing anything about going back anymore. And for maybe a long time, you had been like, do I do it? Do I not do it? What do I do here? Like, you keep looking back and looking back and looking back. And now I'm just seeing you be like, okay, you're like, okay, we're doing this. Like, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be, all right, we're gonna figure it out. So I'm seeing you've like made up your mind now at this point, and you're moving forward. And I'm seeing that again, like, this transition is going to move faster than you think. Things are going to change faster than you think. I'm seeing you be like enveloped into all of I keep getting like largeness, bigness of this. Like, it just feels like maybe a monumental thing that you're transitioning into within your life, like this very big step that you're taking. And it feels like it's worth it for you, because you're like dedicated to your values now at this point. It's like not settling for less anymore. This means that it's also a reflection of you and how you're perceiving yourself and your relationship with yourself. Because if you are not believing in yourself, and if your self-worth weren't where it is right now, you wouldn't be going for this. So this is really showing you showing up for yourself too. And really like thinking about yourself. And being like, why wouldn't I deserve that, you know? Like, why wouldn't I want to experience something that's aligned for me? I'm worth it. So I'm seeing that be very, very important here. But it almost could feel like something that you have to like fight for, to put it in those terms. Oh, okay. Okay. So some of you, this is the trajectory, and you actually are still looking back a little bit, because I'm seeing like there isn't, not for all of you. For some of you, you've already made this decision and you're like, I'm not looking back at all. For others of you, I'm seeing that there may not be a finality yet with this decision, because some of you, something like legally has to happen that you're moving into, and you're going to make the choice to take action in that way. You know that this is going to change things for you, but I'm seeing you be like, I got this. And you do. You're not being delusional and being like, I got this, and you really don't. No, you really do. You got this. I'm seeing. It feels like now you're like maybe more mentally up for this as well, and you may not have been before. But this even feels like justified in your mind to be stepping in this direction in this way. I feel like you're about to surprise yourself with what you're doing here, and what you're calling towards you as well, as far as what's happening within this situation for you. Some of you, this is going to impact a relationship of yours. But yeah, there could be something about a contract that's connected with this, a relationship. There could be legal action that's being taken, something being manifested, especially too because Justice and the Magician both have to do with like contractual things. So it can be like a spiritual, energetic contract. It can be something legally, something that feels like it went wayward and needs to be corrected even. The thought of things going in this direction before could have been something that really deterred you from taking action in this way, but I'm getting that at this point it feels like it's just necessary for this to happen. I kind of get this feeling of like my tears have dried, or I'm moving in that direction where it will be like that, because you've realized that you could sit in a situation and be upset every day because it's not aligned, or you could do something about it. And I'm seeing you at this point be like, I'm gonna do something about it, rather than just like sitting here and crying every day, or being upset, or being like going to bed feeling uneasy, or just being like, this does not feel like peace to me, or this doesn't feel right to me, or like, why am I in this situation? Like, you know, too, when you're in a situation that's out of alignment, what's going to come into your head and what you're going to feel and what you're going to fantasize about is like all the ways that you can escape from it or make it stop. And that's telling you like, hey, this isn't right. It's not something that's fitting. You fantasizing about something else that would, again, like pull you away or take you away or plop you into a better situation. So now it's about like doing the legwork that's actually going to get you into that more aligned situation, aligned in a way that you want it to be. Because this is aligned with a timeline that you don't want to be in anymore, because it doesn't feel like it resonates with your values. And that's really come to light here. But yeah, but before there could have been a lot where you were like, if I'm really going to like rip this into pieces and like renegotiate this, it's going to be a lot. But I'm seeing you just be willing for it, willing to do that now. Whereas before, like, the thought of this could have been like the worst thing to you, and now you're like, no, staying in this situation is the worst thing to me. Much worse than having to tear this all down and build something back up again. So that's where I'm seeing you be. Let me just look this over to see if anything else is sticking out. So it looks like you're going to make the decision to move forward. You may not have actually done it yet, but it feels like it's just a matter of time now. There can be something. There are certain reasons why the timing is particular with this, potentially for some of you, things that are like out of your hands, but for others of you, it's like you've just sort of been waiting and you're actually going to do this. But you may know that like, hey, when I do this, when I initiate this, when I take that step, there's like definitely no going back, which I feel like you've made up your mind on that. But I feel like you're also sort of preparing for, it's really going to get started once I do that. And then it's going to feel like a roller coaster. It's kind of like, you know, before you jump into a body of water and you're standing there and it's like, you know that you're going to be jumping in, but it's like that little bit of anxiety before you actually make that jump, and you sort of have to like build yourself up to do it. That's where I'm seeing you be right now. But yeah, I'm seeing just the trajectory of all of this is going to be like, you've already made up the choice mentally. You're going to then take action on it. Things are going to move very quickly once you like say it or do it or initiate this. However this begins, physically, however this manifests, like however you take action, once that happens, things move very, very quickly then after that point. And I'm seeing Justice, Death card, the Magician, Strength, and also the Tower. So this is like you're moving into something where there's going to be like basically a fair deal that's created. But more than that, this is doing what you feel like now is really right according to you and your values. And doing what's right is not always the hardest thing. This is really about you being honest with yourself and being transparent, and especially being honest. Because I think sometimes we can look at justice and be like, do what's right within this situation. And sometimes what we perceive as being right, how do I want to word this? Sometimes we stay in situations other than it actually being the right thing because we feel pressured into those sorts of things. That's always a thing when it comes to the Justice card, when it connects with the Libra within our chart. Because it can be like, is the right thing not to cause waves, or is the right thing to actually do the right thing here and be honest within the situation? with everybody, including myself, including the other people involved. So that's where I'm seeing you moving. And because of that, because of like bringing that truth, which is the actual like basis of the justice card, it's not doing what's easy, it's not doing what's going to please everybody, it's like actually being this like truth bringer and respecting everybody enough, including yourself, to be honest here about how you're feeling and what's going on and all of that. Then I'm seeing the death card, which means that because of this light being brought into the situation, big things are going to be changing. I'm seeing you definitely be in a spot to be able to do this. You may not always feel that 24/7, but just being able to remind yourself of that, practice affirmations, do what you need to do to kind of like, again, talk yourself up to be in this place and sort of prepare, because there are going to be some really big changes here. It may be a bit uncomfortable, but this is like for your happiness and having the type of experience you want to live. Because right now I'm seeing you've been in a situation that isn't preferable for you, and so you're moving towards something that is going to feel much more aligned. It's just the footwork that needs to be done now, and you're going to find yourself as you transition through this, like the whole thing that's motivating you is to be in a better spot, and that's exactly what you're doing here. So I'm seeing you just be right on track. It's just time to do this now. All right. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.